want that one?
Yeah.
But I want that one.
No, I want that one.
Okay, you can't have that.
No,
I was gonna lay claim to it.
It's mine.
Trish, what does it matter if it's both
No,
going
no,
in the
it's
same
mine.
place?
No, it's still
But it's
mine.
gonna be in the same place.
No, but it's gonna be mine.
Alright, well then if you're gonna take that one, I got Batman back there.
Okay, but I still want that one.
Okay, well what else do you want?
I want the one below it too. I want the Daredevil one.
Okay, you can have the Daredevil ones.
I want Rhino.
Hi.
Nobody's taking anything.
Hi, Pete.
You look a little deranged. You got your spoon up, Pete. We have this week's comics.
He's all trying to usurp my basement.
Pete,
No,
Pete, comics.
they're yours.
Comics. Your
They're
comics.
yours. They're all yours.
Yeah. Sit, read.
Next.
That. X-Men is good. You want to switch seats? We can switch seats.
Remember, it's all okay. It's all okay.
And the other thing to remember, it's all Steve's idea.
Right, Steve.
All Steve's idea.
Fucking Steve.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stab Steve with the spoon.
Okay, give me the spoon.
I'm gonna
now.
cut his
Give me
heart
the
out with the
for
spoon.
now. Why a spoon?
Wait,
Because
wait,
it's
wait.
double, you twit.
Wait, look.
It'll hurt more.
Look, Iron Man's gonna wash the spoon for you. My Iron Man next to spoon. He will protect the spoon.
All right. So shall we get to the goods?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right. And then you can kill Steve later.
Yes.
All right.
Book of the week, guys. Uncanny X-Men 542. I dropped a thing on the Facebook about this. I even tweeted about it. I'm not comfortable saying that. Tweeted. Put up on Twitter about X-Men 542.
Great book.
But now you said that. See, this was a surprise for me. Reading the whole thing throughout, basically, Scott is throwing everything he can at the Juggernaut. Nothing's working.
Phase, what was it?
Plan 13. Plan 31.
Plan 42.
136 is great. Nothing's working against this guy.
The Pixie one was cool.
Which one was it? What did she do?
Where she tries to
teleport him. Yeah,
and he just keeps going.
right through the fucking portal. It was great. And basically, like, throw the cheese down there. And the biggest kindergarten move ever. Oh, well, I'm going to tell on you. And he went to Sidorak. Like, yo.
Your boy's not doing his job there.
No.
Alright, so let me get to the point that I didn't like about the book.
Yeah, because now you said that the image at the end was released months ago.
Now, here's my thing with comics nowadays, and I remember actually talking, somebody from Marvel, I'm gonna say Quesada just because he's the bane of my existence, but
hey, that's like the captain goes down with the ship.
Yes.
Whether it's his fault or not, it's his fault.
But I'm pretty sure it was him who said it. He said, there's no surprise in comics anymore. Look at, with this issue, they released the cheese went out, right?
Let's pop it out there again.
Okay. So, Colossus becoming the Juggernaut, like they released that image probably about 4 months ago, 3 months ago, something like that.
I did not see it.
I saw it, and then all of a sudden, like, once like they went into the dimension, I'm like, are you kidding me? It's like there's no surprise in it anymore. I already knew where that story was going to end before I even went anywhere. And then to go...
That's a real shame. So the whole book did not have the same feel for you that it did for me.
Yeah.
I missed that. I'm actually kind of happy I missed that image then.
And I loved everything else in the book. But just, and I like the idea of him becoming the Juggernaut. But I do not like the fact that Marvel, DC, keep putting everything out there.
It's like in Jurassic Park 3 when they showed you that the dinosaur actually came to like the city. It's like showing that ahead of time. It kills the whole movie.
It kills the surprise of it.
Yeah.
I liked how he was like protecting his sisters. Like, no, you're not doing this.
Yes. And then the other thing, and I think this is going to lead into one of the books we're talking about in a few minutes, Schism. Why? You don't need to tell us that this is going to separate both Scott and Wolverine.
Right.
Leave it classified. Leave it like, remember when like they were talking about shit that was going to be coming out, and they would never tell you what was going to happen. They just said something was coming out, we can't tell you about it. Fine. That's great. But now it's like, hey, look, Wolverine and Cyclops are going to be having some big, huge fight, And now it's not about the story and it's not about the surprise of it happening, but now it's like, okay, well, how does it happen?
Right. And you know what's you know what? Let's jump right to Schism since you just mentioned it. 3 of 5 came out. I'm surprisingly enjoying this series so far, but the way that it's basically just the new Hellfire Club, no mutants, little kids, rich little kids. Yeah, that's fucking stupid.
Oh.
Rich little kids with nothing better to do trying to take over the world. Fairly original, I guess. As opposed to their rich parents trying to take over the world.
But rich little kids that took down the X-Men?
I'm actually thoroughly interested in it, but like the way that they're splitting up Psyche and Wolverine, and that Cyclops is becoming, I guess, much more of a militaristic kind of do what it takes to get shit done. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few kind of thing.
Right.
He's almost like a general in this case. Like he's really weighing out the options, and whereas Wolverine is kind of taking a little bit more of the pansy approach, which you wouldn't expect from him, where he's like, you know, you can't just let that little girl go and fight these guys.
Yeah. And if that's the thing,
I'm not going to say that's out of character for Wolverine either.
But if that's going to be the nail that drives the whole entire story, that was, I mean,
how
really,
long are they going to be able to keep that going?
Wolverine and Cyclops have done so much more fucked up shit to each other through the years.
Yeah.
That really
that he's just not agreeing with the way he's leading the team, and like, you know, honestly, like I can't. It's not in Cyclops' character to do that.
Yes.
But at the same time, I like the advancement of his character and where, like, what it's kind of had to come down to for him.
No, agreed.
And like I'm almost, and I'm gonna go out on a limb here, but I'm kind of getting flashbacks of how I was when Daredevil first went nuts in Shadowland, before you realized that it was a stupid demon that he was possessed by. Like when you really just thought Matt Murdock had flipped his lid.
Which is
it was an awesome story. Right. That's where I'm getting at this. Like it's just leading the X-Men to this point without having Xavier as like the mentor in the background has really just kind of driven him over the limit. And I think they're going to kind of make it where Wolverine
absolute power corrupts, absolutely.
Right.
But what are they going to give as the meaning for Wolverine's change, though?
That's where I'm kind of torn, and I don't know how they're going to pull this off. You're exactly right. Like Wolverine is one way in X-Men, and is a completely different character in X-Force, where he's almost like Cyclops in X-Force. Now he knows what has to get done. He knows what X-Force is. It's a fucking kill crew.
Yeah. And
that's that. We gotta kill these motherfuckers. But at the same time, like I see how it compares. Like we have to do it, but you can't let little kids do it. You know. And okay, but I really don't want them to water down the X-Force Wolverine in lieu of X-Men Wolverine. You know what I mean?
Is he even in X-Force after this?
That's a good question.
Because if you saw the teaser image,
what do you think? I'm glad you brought that up. What do you think of Marvel doing that? Like for I think it's their 70th anniversary or something like that. They've been releasing homage covers, homage cover. I wouldn't even fucking say it. To earlier covers, like the X-Force teaser you're talking about was the original cover to New Avengers.
Right.
And they're doing that in a couple of different books. We have a couple of things up on the Facebook in the Comic Picks album. But yeah, you're right. It's just Archangel, Phantom X-White. I really appreciate his character. You know, Deadpool, Psylocke.
But no, after the whole entire Schism thing, it was Nightcrawler from the Dark.
Who didn't see that coming? I think we even said it was going to happen.
And then from there, it looks like it's Deadpool, Phantom X, and then I couldn't figure out the last person, but...
I don't really like the idea of Nightcrawler coming in from that other world because that's not our Nightcrawler. You know, it doesn't have... It's simply not the same character. He was raised under different circumstances. He's not the Kurt Wagner that we know and love.
But at least they're keeping him dead. But you're going to keep that character dead, and you're going to keep bringing back all these other freaking characters.
Did you not see the Fantastic Four teasers for 600? And Return of Johnny Storm. Already.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's your question, dear? Why do they have little alien things on their face?
I don't know. It reminds me of
Yeah, I'm not sure where they're going with that.
It's G.I. Joe the movie. Remember?
Oh, yeah, when they threw the gooey thing at them.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Alright.
One other cool story to end off with X-Men, even though this is a .1 issue, which apparently, like, wasn't Marvel's original idea for .1s to be like a kind of a catch-up, this is what's going on with all of these characters involved, kind of a quick introduction to them.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's
yeah.
that was the original idea. Now they've become simply one-shots. And that's not to say that they're bad one-shots. This was a cool story.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all it is a story. I have no idea who... If I just pick this up...
Looks like he's constipated and he's shitting out Cyclops.
Looks like Mojo.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, this is just a cool story. If I just pick this up having never heard of the X-Men, I have no idea who these characters are. This was not introducing me in any way, shape, or form to what was going on. So, Ultimate Fallout concluded as well this week. I like the cover.
Cover's gorgeous.
Like, I was really kind of expecting some sort of...
Paris? Really?
That was just to get rid of Paris. They got rid of them
Paris.
to go with the new Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah, but then why keep Mary Jane? Why was it? And then Mary Jane looks out and it's like,
deuces, bitch! We're out! That's exactly what that was.
you can stay here and deal with like the death of your boyfriend. We're gone.
It's like, and she's like, these motherfuckers left me.
Yup.
And as she, she runs into Nick Fury and he's like, I loved him. Like I just said, yeah, it was creepy and shit.
If you're gonna print the story,
that is creepy. Like,
I'm dead. I'm the reason he's dead.
Where is it? I was reading this.
I really was like expecting some sort of...
Like, what is that?
But no, you know what was my other favorite with him? He looked different in every panel. It was a different black guy with an eye patch.
Oh man. Yeah, I was really kind of expecting more for Mary Jane in this, like, she's writing this whole expose and everything, and then they do nothing with it.
Yeah.
And second of all, like, how creepy is that? Like, you were in my house? Yeah, I'm Nick Fury, I could do that. Like, really?
Alright, now here's my other
For a
thing.
series that started off really strong.
The first 2 issues were great. And then after that, just...
Yeah.
But here's my problem. Here's my problem with the Ultimate Universe. Marvel, why are you trying... Do you want to just destroy the Ultimate Universe? Because, like, if you really want to, just cancel the books. You killed off Spider-Man, Wolverine, Magneto, Professor X. Who else am I forgetting?
Everyone else.
Yeah.
Everyone from A to C.
Like, and now Captain America quits. Oh,
Reed Richards is the ultimate bad guy.
Yeah.
Like, I understand you're trying to be different and edgy, but I've always said it, this series should have ended with Ultimatum. And done. Because now they've simply turned it into the Young Avengers universe.
Wait a minute. You're suggesting they can be different and edgy when the content in a roundabout way is exactly the fucking same?
You know what I liked about the Ultimate Universe and, like...
Like, you can't be different and edgy when you're recycling shit.
I understand that, but if you're
Like,
good enough, you can. And I think when the Ultimate Universe first started and you were...
Thundercats!
Which is an awesome show.
Damn you.
But really, like 10 years ago when the Ultimate Universe first started and you saw so many different takes on your favorite characters.
And they modernized it in such a great way.
Right, they've lost touch with that completely.
Yes.
It's like, hey, let's drive to Miami after a brief detour in Albuquerque.
Yes.
Is there anything in it?
I'm
New
not
Mexicans?
I'm not looking forward to the Spider-Man. I'm not looking forward to Ultimate X-Men now and all that.
I'm going to give the new Spider-Man a chance. Gimmick aside.
Yes.
I want to
and
give
that's
it a
all it
try.
is. It's all a gimmick.
I know. It's unfortunate. But at least one thing you can say is Gwen Stacy's clone notwithstanding, everybody in the Ultimate Universe stays dead so far.
Yes, and that's what has me scared.
Yeah, it's true. One thing you don't have to be scared of, though, speaking of Spidey, is Spider Island, which has proven way better than any one of us ever thought it was going to be.
I'll admit, I did not expect it to be
good.
Yeah.
I even picked up Spider-Girl, which, like, I followed this because I like the Hobgoblin character.
Hobgoblin is awesome.
This is a good story. And I liked, I forget her name, but Aranya's character as Spider-Girl ever since the whole thing with Kraven went down. And I picked up like the first 2 issues, but then they threw the Red Hulk in it, so I was like, no, fuck this. Decide if he's a bad guy or a good guy. I'm tired of it. Ugh. But the Venom book...
How long is this supposed to run for?
It's on so far.
It's ongoing?
Yep.
And, like... The way they're
is it a clone or not a clone? That's the question.
Okay, this issue, I can't believe that they allowed like such a major
revelation
in such a side issue. Like a lot of people wouldn't pick up Venom, just on a whim like that. So unless you were reading this to start with, you missed one of the key ingredients of Spider Island, and that is the identity of the second Spider Beast. 3, 2, 1. Captain America. He tells Flash, "You can't kill him. That's Captain America." When Venom and the Spider Beast are going head to head.
Oh, and my favorite scene in that, when the friggin' symbiote comes and attacks the Spider Beast as like guard dog to Flash Thompson.
Yeah.
I'm not too big on Venom, but last couple of issues, it's actually getting better.
Yeah, I agree.
I find that Rick Remender, X-Force, I didn't like X-Force when he first started writing it. Mm-hmm. And now, Venom, first couple of issues, I was like, it's like he needs, I think, 5 or 6 months to kind of
find his feet and get the ball
going.
Rolling. This whole thing with the Spider Beast being Captain America, it draws back to that scene from ASM that I was really worried about a couple of weeks ago when he says, wow, how did you find this? I always wanted it to work on, this is like the alpha of the species of our generation. I think he's talking about a clone. Mm-hmm. There's no way it could but Captain America's DNA's got to be running around everywhere. It's got to bleed all over the place.
It's got to be.
And he's not trying to recreate the super soldier serum, which is like where everybody, that's like the default storyline whenever somebody gets a hold of Captain America's DNA. He's just fucking with it. Mm-hmm. And I think we can all agree, Captain America is a lot stronger than Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Speaking of Cap, Daredevil 2, not bad. I like the fight between Daredevil and Cap. I like that shield is awesome, by the way. Here you go, have it back. But I didn't like Cap being fucking retarded, and he's like, you're under arrest, man. You can't do that. You kill Bullseye and everything. You set up a demon. Yeah. And then they draw back to oh well, that's because Bucky just got killed and he's being a little crazy. It's fucking stupid. I didn't think that they did Cap justice in that book, but
quick, before he starts talking about Fear Itself 5, quick, Captain America, Pete, Captain America.
This is good. I like Brubaker on Cap. The one going on in Captain America and Bucky, I'm just kind of okay with.
Yeah.
But it's an origin of Bucky story again. And even though I like the idea, somebody actually brought this up on Facebook, was like, Brubaker just says, well, fuck you, Fraction, I'm going to keep Bucky around even if it's in flashbacks. Until Marvel gets tired of it and brings him back as it should be.
Well, why would you bring a character back, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, and then just kill him again? Somebody who was dead in a 40-something years. Don't get, 60.
Really?
Give or take, 65 years.
I knew it was a really long time.
But this is still like a really cool idea. This evil other super soldier gets, well, he wasn't evil to begin with. He just kind of flipped out because he's been stuck in like a nightmare world for the past 10, 15
I'm sorry, the scene where he reaches in and just,
yeah. This is a cool story. McNiven's artwork is awesome, as it should be. If you only read one Captain America book, I would suggest it's this one.
As you hit her in the face.
I'm
on your side, man.
No.
Journey into Mystery is, this book alone reinforces my theory that Fear Itself could simply have taken place in Thor.
Oh, totally.
I thought, when I looked at that upside down, that was very inappropriate.
Saying it looks like a Twibby.
Yeah.
A flaming Twibby.
Awesome. A flaming tweeter?
I like Loki being a conniving son of a bitch, all to save his big brother. Like, the way they've endeared him to Thor has turned out way better than I ever could have thought it would. Like, Loki being the asshole of Thor for the past 40, 50 years, that the comic's been around, is just, it's so different now to see, like, the way he's really a little kid. And he looks up to his older brother, and he wants to be just like him.
Wait, he's going like this on the cover.
To Surtur. He's a little kid. He's basically a conniving, mischievous little kid. And awesome. The way it's written, it really is that. Like, it's so odd. Like, he cons Surtur into giving him his sword, which is fucking great. And the promise, this is such a great idea. Throw that cheese down there again. This is so brilliant of Loki, and if this, like, this is the only book explaining anything about the characters in Fear itself, about the Serpent or whatever. This is where we found out, I believe, no, that was in Silver Surfer that we found out that...
You're the dumbass who's been picking up Fear itself. I said no way, no thank you.
But if you follow the concept of Thor, or even Norse mythology at all, or if you follow the characters in Journey into Mystery and the original Thor series, Surtur's whole existence is bent on destroying Asgard. And now we find out in this book, not even in Fear itself, because it's too busy doing dumb shit, that the Serpent has his own dark Asgard that's flying around on its way to meet Asgard, and they're gonna have like a big war of cities.
They're gonna have a big baby.
No.
They're gonna have like gray Asgard.
So...
Where it's like Earth, but it's Asgard.
I don't even know where you're going with that.
Yeah, that was lame.
Yeah.
So Loki tells Surtur, well listen, you know, I'm gonna get you out of this limbo world and back in Asgard. And Surtur's like, what? You're a conniving fuck. I know you're not telling the truth. Loki's gonna stick him on the Serpent and stick him in Dark Asgard and just let him blow the whole thing up. Superman and Batman, 87, the story with the Joker concluded. Identity
That was the
theft.
conclusion?
Yeah, it was only 3 issues long.
That was the conclusion?
I like this story. I don't know why you don't. And I don't know why you don't like this guy's artwork. I thought his Joker looked fucking demented.
No.
It's very rare for us to disagree, especially on artwork.
Yeah.
So this is interesting for me.
Yeah. I hate his face. I hate the way he made his face look.
I do not like his face. Let us remove it, yes?
Yes.
Yes. I don't need to talk about Green Lantern Corps at all. The series concluded with this issue, and it was just nonsensical.
I didn't pick it up.
Yeah, not worth it.
Hence why I said the artwork is eh. Alright, you're picking up all the Flashpoint stuff. This is all you.
You know what? A lot of these are now concluding, and it's going to say finished off in the pages of Flashpoint, whatever. So my overall conclusion is the only Flashpoint sister title you ever needed to read was Batman Night of Vengeance. Because that alone serves as a great Elseworld story. The rest of these are nothing but filler for characters if you wanted to read about them. I'm not saying they're bad. This whole Legion of Doom thing, if you're a big Cyborg fan or a Heatwave fan, actually I kind of like Heatwave because it reminds me of Heat Viper from G.I. Joe, and that was my favorite Viper. So that's why I picked this up. That and the whole Legion of Doom thing. But, and this one, Green Lantern Abin Sur, again, it's kind of just filler, but this one you may want to take a second look at just because of the ending. Basically, Abin Sur dives into Themyscira as it's collapsing into the sea, as per Aquaman using Geoforce to collapse Themyscira into the sea. And he, the Guardians basically throw Abin Sur out of the Green Lantern Corps because he disobeyed them. He's like, well, you can't save Earth. Well, I'm going to. Well, you're out. You're fired. So once his ring runs out of power, that's it. He's done. And he dives in anyway, tries to save some people. The ring runs out of power. And then you see the ring fly up and look for another sentient being in Sector 2814. But then, like, the whole purpose of Abin Sur being on Earth in these 3 issues was to look for the White Lantern. And as it says, Abin Sur, live. And now the last page, you've got Abin Sur as the Green Lantern of Earth, White Lantern, I'm sorry, of Earth. And I don't know if that's going to carry over into the new DC world. I kind of hope it doesn't, just because I think the whole part of of Hal Jordan being Green Lantern, which you know he'll be back in the green tights real soon.
Better be.
Abin Sur has to be dead. You can't have him and Hal Jordan alive at the same time. I don't agree with that.
Plot hole.
Yeah. I think it's cool they turned him into a White Lantern, and if you want to conclude that part of the story in Flashpoint 5, great, but I just don't think it works as a mainstay. And, you know, you said it was kind of rushed.
Yeah, I felt like, I don't know, flipping through those last couple of pages there, I just felt like everything was just like, okay, we got to wrap this up, it's the 3rd issue.
Yeah.
Right. But at the same time, do you want to allow DC to have 2 more issues to really fuck it up?
Go for it.
You're a trusting soul.
I know. Hey, they're not doing what Marvel does.
Give them time.
Yeah.
Finally, Radical Comics gets its own Punisher in the pages of Damaged, issue 1 of 6. It seems like a kind of a tired old story, but it still works, I think. Basically this old cop who somehow got fucked over by the system, we don't know how yet, and now he's just on a rampage killing Russian and Italian mafia members left and right, and is making an entire bloodbath out of one particular city. And you've got this young new captain who will probably wind up being the stupid unsung hero by the end of it, and the older captain whose job he just took, kind of being forced out by a corrupt mayor and the police chief and everything, and he knows who this old cop is, but he's not saying anything yet. So, what do you think of this? I made you read this.
Artwork very pretty.
It's radical.
Yeah.
Their artwork's very rarely not pretty.
Storyline wise, I mean, it's one of those I think I'd have to see where it's going. I remember back a number of years ago when they relaunched Vigilante, the DC character.
Okay.
Not with the guy in the black spandex, but they tried to relaunch him with this other character. And the first couple of issues were like really good, and then all of a sudden, like the last 2 issues was like, really? So, it's one of those. I think it's going to depend on where they go with the story. I think it's got potential to go well, and I think it's got potential to.
It's funny, like, and you know, going back to some things being rushed. One of the things I didn't like about a couple of the stories of Radical was like they give you a shot at exploring so many other worlds and so many places that it could go, and you're like, oh, that's cool, that's cool. Oh, we're going this way? Oh, all right, but what about that? That looks cool over there. And like,
yeah, no, I agree with you because like that's one of my complaints with Radical is that some of their stuff is way too choppy.
So there were a couple of stories that were like, Abattoir I found very difficult to follow. As much as I loved it and I really wanted to like it, I still haven't gotten a chance to go back and read everything in one fell swoop because I didn't really get it. This one seems pretty easy to follow. Like, okay, a corrupt system, a good cop turned bad, seems pretty straightforward laid out in front of me. But when they get a little bit more like in the fantastical realm, there was that story a while back that really reminded me of like Final Fantasy, the Spirits Within type of thing. And that was the one like I was like, wow, I don't know what the hell's going on in this. But it was beautiful. It was so pretty. I was like, look at the pretty pictures. But Radical very rarely hands me slop. Even the Wyatt Earp thing, Saints and Sinners, came out a while back, and there were a couple panels I was like, you missed a panel there. But overall, it was still a great story. It was a great concept. They're new. The company's been out for 2, maybe 3 years, and I still say that they're trying to find their feet, and they're doing it really well. I like the fact that the storylines are finite, and maybe if one particular story does really well, they'll come back with some sort of sequel like they did with Hercules, the Thracian Wars, and then the Knives of Kush. And I'm really hoping that they come out with another one.
That's the problem with the big 2.
Yeah. Because they just keep handing you shit, whereas Radical will kind of give you, all right, try this. They like that. Give them another one. How's this? Not so much.
Okay.
Radical only has like 2 or 3 series that are going into sequels, but overall, I really do like their books.
All right.
And I pretty much anything that comes out from them, I give them a chance, just because I trust them, which is a very rare thing in comics these days. So now that's my spoon.
Okay.
I'm gonna wait for Steve.
Let's go plan for Steve. Come on.
Yeah, let's do that.
Trish and I'll help you plan something. Come on. Come on. Come on. It's okay. We're gonna help you.
Go that way.
Come on, Steve. We really need you.
Nope. Not gonna happen. Nope, nope, nope.
Come on, he didn't mean it.
No, I'm not going down to the basement. He's a nut job.
He's better.
You saw the last episode, didn't you edit it?
So you saw it then.
Yeah.
Look, he's not going to do anything.
Yeah, I'm not going down there. I got people depend on me. I have,
Who depends on you? You don't have kids.
I do have children.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, 2.
Yeah, what are their names?
What are their names?
Yeah, their names.
The names are, Captain Brubaker and Darewade.
Darewade.
I tried Darewade. Twins.
I never met them.
What do you mean you never met them?
I'm saying I never met them.
They're here.
Yeah, really?
Put that down, Darewade. Did you hear that? Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Because of the kids. And that's why I'm not going down to the basement. Because Pete's crazy.
Look, all you gotta do is just hold them down for a little bit.
All right.
We'll put some duct tape on them.
Yeah.
I want you to get a shovel and 3 pounds of ice cubes.
Don't look at me like that, folks. It's the only way I could have avoided it. Like you never made up fake kids before? Anyway. Uncanny X-Men 542. Pete posted on Facebook that it was great, and he didn't lie. It's my favorite. Out of the books that I read this week, it's my favorite. I'm not going to say what happens, but there's a new Juggernaut. And it's very, very exciting. So, I'm not sure if it's Gillen or Gillen, the writer, but he's been really great. I like his writing. It's good, solid writing. And Greg Land, you know, we've all talked about as his art is beautiful. So, I don't know what's going to happen with the series. From what we hear, it's going to either end or reboot or whatever. But hopefully they keep that creative team going because it's just great. So, but I'm sure they won't because God forbid they do something that we want. Daredevil #2 at the beginning of the end of the last issue, #1. You see Cap's shield into the frame or the page, you know. And one of us, I forget who it wasn't me, but somebody posited the theory that Cap did that just to test Daredevil, and that's basically what it was. He was making sure that it's him. He's like, okay, I just wanted to make sure it's you, and by the way, you're under arrest. Because Daredevil did a lot of fucked up things during Shadowland, which started out good and then ended horribly. Although Cap should be arresting the writer of that, not Daredevil himself. It's not his fault. But basically, Daredevil's led to this some abandoned store or warehouse where all these weird machines are making something. Then he ends up strapped into another machine. I don't like where it's going. Seems a little weird, but just that part. But the rest of it was really good. And apparently, Foggy Nelson is fooling around with a very hot ADA. Good for him. Good for Foggy. And Cap #2 also came out. Brubaker still on, thank God. And McNiven, who, you know, is great. Steve McNiven. So you find out that Bravo... I'm not a big flashback guy. Well, that's not true. But having the flashbacks correspond to what's going on now in a fluid way is done properly. If that makes any sense. Because Brubaker knows what he's doing. But you find out that Bravo has been stuck in some sort, along with like a bunch of Hydra guys and other people, have been stuck in some sort of alternate reality of where it's like a dreamland or something like that. I don't think they bumped into the little Nemo, but so now he's out and he's pissed basically. But it's good. My description made it sound like, huh? What the hell? Why are you reading that? But it's actually good. So I would recommend that. So those are the 3 that I read and decided to talk about. So that's it for me.
So, another week, more segments. Why? I don't know. But this week I'm doing something different. Handling questions and just questions. First off, we have W.I. Parker 824 asking Ramon or anyone that reads X Factor. Only Ramon. You've heard me say that it's a good book, but I've also say it's always a pain in the ass to jump on. So he's asking when and where. I'm assuming it's a he. Could be a she. Hey, how you doing? When to jump on. Now you mentioned Second Coming crossover event. That would be a good one. I specifically jumped in issue 25. Now it's currently up to issue 223 because after issue 50, issue 51 was really issue 200. So 23 plus 25, that's 48 issues if you want to collect it as I collected it, which explains where Matt Murdock. Fuck it. Whew. Magic's Multiple Man gets that whole M tattoo. and whatnot. And that's a really good jumping on point. It also explains Layla Miller's powers, her true mutant powers, not that whole bullshit where she knows things. Yeah, they kind of explain that know thing stuff, but that's later on. So that's what I would say. I would say go back to issue 25, which is Messiah Complex crossover. All of this is available in trade paperbacks. I believe 7 or 8 trades. So, you know, if you want to do that, check on Amazon and whatnot. Try to find the cheapest you could find, or if your local comic shop does specials every once in a while. Labor Day's right around the corner, so they might do a Labor Day blowout. Check on Barnes and Nobles, stuff like that. Try to save money, really. Even though X Factor is $2.99. But anyways, next question. Frank Castro of the show, thank you. Just wondering what you guys would think about if any Disney character invaded the Marvel Universe like that Kingdom Hearts video game. Also, in the future, he would like to do us to a history of segment, which is interesting. We'll have to look into that. Me and the guys. We'll talk to them. I'll talk to them about it next time we're together. But Disney characters in Marvel Universe? No. Hell no. 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 Que no puñeta, porque es una locura. If you don't know what I just said, don't worry about it. It's just another way of saying no. Yeah, definitely no. Maria asks, if a Steve falls in the basement and Pete isn't around to hear it, does it make a sound? It's Steve. It doesn't really matter. He's always on the floor, one way or the other. I mean, I guess so. Technically, yes, Maria, but I mean, we care, but he's always in the floor, so we're like kind of indifferent about it. It's indifferent caring. Yes, that's us. All right, Jarhead. John Andreas asked us several questions. No, I did not get to Dragon Rider yet. Obviously, it's another segment episode, so I have not seen Peter yet. What do you guys think of the Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance trailer? Awesome. Until I saw Nicolas Cage, and my heart kind of sank, because Nicolas Cage is the Rob Liefeld of movies. Should be good, but he's not. Had some moments of shining, the rest suck. Nicolas Cage, Rob Liefeld. Just saying. Two-part question. Ooh, go you, Jarhead. How do I feel about Marvel getting back the Fantastic Four franchise from Fox? About fucking time. Oh my god, this is like so freaking overdue. Okay, I thought Silver Surfer was done okay, but that's as far as it went. I was really pissed off with Galactus. They copped out with that. I think Marvel would have done something a bit more creative, if not the actual, humanoid Galactus instead of a fucking cloud. So I'm really looking forward to that. God willing it's true, and God willing it happens. And how do I feel about the rumors of the Superman Batman film being secretly made, featuring Batman as a well-established hero and Superman as a fresh new face in the DC movie universe, and Batman somewhat mentoring him? I don't like that aspect of it. Well, first of all, if it's being secretly made, it's being really well done. Because we have some friends in that business, and we haven't heard nothing about it. Two, I don't like the idea of Batman mentoring him. The only time I liked that was when Superman lost his powers and Batman had to teach him how to be a vigilante, if you will, a superhero without powers. So, other than that, get it done. Superman Batman would be huge for Marvel, for DC, and for Warner Brothers, who really need a hit. I think, even though Jarhead liked Green Lantern, I was hit or miss on that, and I think they still need to shine. And which leads us to the next question. How do I feel about Zack Snyder directing and Henry Cavill starring Superman Steel reboot? The film costume. It's too early to tell. I mean, I was alright with the costume of the last Superman. This one looks a lot more leathery. But I don't know. It's not exactly a well lit shot. It's not a true shot of him. It's just an overall. My biggest problem was actually the hair. Dude had like a lot of freaking hair, a lot of thick hair. I didn't like that, but there's things I wanted to accept, considering it's reimagining, I guess, of Superman, or redoing. I don't know. It's just a movie, and they're going to change shit. So The costume has to be changed because it's not going to be all spandex or even the armor, which I'm looking at right now as we speak, of the reboot. And he also asks, what's your take on the possible return of Johnny and the renaming of the Fantastic Four? I think it's bullshit. Crock of shit. Bullshit. Crock of shit. Bullshit. Crock of shit. If you're gonna do something, even if it's bad, stick to it. You know, unless it's like monumentally bad, like clone. Yeah, clone. Sorry, Pete, had to say it. They should have left him dead, or gone, or disappeared, or on a hiatus, or fucking half the bitches in the negative zone. But no, he's might be coming back, So, do I want him to? No. Don't want Spider-Man still on the team? No. Don't want FF book to get better? Yes. It's that. Hope that helps, Jarhead. Rick Boyder asks, do you think with the constantly rising prices of comic books, that we'll eventually only see comic characters in cartoons and movies in a few years, given that Disney owns DC, no, Disney owns Marvel, and Marvel is similarly becoming more multimedia? I think DC should have stepped up a long time ago, considering Warner Brothers owns them, and a fucking studio company owns you, one of the big ones, and they've dropped the ball consistently. So, I don't know. And prices are getting ridiculous. And the more other print dies, and the fact that comics be the only print out there sooner than later, I think sooner or later we're gonna be all rocking the iPad. So I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not. I like my boxes. I like my books, and I think comic books are gonna hold out longer than possible. But probably smaller books are gonna like lead the way for this shit. But yeah. Ken Jenkins asks, here's my show question. Do you think Marvel or Disney could support a comic book based channel like the Disney or Cartoon Channel with content based solely on their product? How would this affect the mainline paper product? Could live action shows be produced for characters like Smallville? Then major crossover stories be made into major films? Yes. Again, Warner Brothers is huge, and so is Disney. I mean, between the two of them, they probably own most of the world that Google doesn't own. So, it's possible. First part is, yes, it is possible. How would it affect mainline paper product? It'll be another outlet for it. If one person doesn't get it, another person will. There is a possibility of oversaturation, especially of the main characters, the A-list characters. So I think pushing the B-list characters is fucking necessary. Could live action shows be produced for characters like Smallville? Smallville was awesome. Me and Danny, Danny, always spoke about him at Gotham. We always ran ideas to this shit, and it would have been fucking hot and awesome. But Warner Brothers, like Marvel, has a lot of their characters out there, owned to several different billion people. So they need to just corral all this shit back in and just produce in-house like Marvel. I would love to see a Gotham, a young Bruce Wayne growing up and going through this shit. It'd probably be a lot better than Smallville. Smallville had some shit just had to swallow. Like the whole no superpower shit because of the poor budget. You don't have to worry about that when it comes to Batman, mostly. Then major crossovers or stories be made into major films. Crossovers, yes. Major films, it depends on the actors. If you get a bunch of nobodies to do this shit, then yes, because the actors won't be asking for a lot of money. Vice versa, they'll be like young and up and coming. But after a while, it gets kind of pricey. Having an actor do a series and then do a movie afterwards, it'd be one overworked and overpaid, but overworked nonetheless. And then it's just a lot. It's crazy. I don't know about that. Definitely, the crossovers in TV shows, that'd be hot, very fucking hot. Let's see what they do. Honestly, Warner Brothers specifically has to step the fuck up. As I saw, thanks to Jarhead, Captain America and Thor fighting in the streets, and that was hot. Marvel has stepped up. If they get Fantastic Four and they're going to freaking put it out there, if they do get it, they're going to step up hard. DC has what? They're rebooting Superman. They're gonna reboot Batman again after a monstrous trilogy. Yes, the third one isn't even out, and I know it's gonna be monstrous. So, anyways, Jorge Burgos asks, "Is P okay this week?" He's never okay. And Dirk Bickle asks, "When is there going to be more Carbon Gray and FVZA?" Carbon Gray is a fantastic book from Image that so far there's been 2 or 3 issues. Here they are. That is slowing down horribly. The Image curse is upon them, and it sucks. It really sucks. But they're going to do Carbon Gray Origins, explaining the background of Carbon Gray and the Carbon Gray characters. So there's some good news for that. It'll be 2 issues coming out next month. Also, the trade paperbacks coming out for their current books. So that's good on that front. FVZA is from Radical, which is awesome. Here are the issues, and pick it up. If you're not picking it up, I recommend, and this is a rarity, pick up the single issues. Go to your shops, find the single issues. They're just gorgeous, especially the second covers, the B covers. Fantastic shit. But the trade, which is really freaking thick, my little niece has it. And yeah, my little niece reads zombie books. Don't judge. But Radical doesn't do too many books at once, and the art requirements for Radical books are high, so they usually take a while before they put this shit out there. So I don't know. I haven't heard anything or read anything about it. I'm hoping something new comes out because it's just a beautiful book. FVZA, Federal Vampire Zombie Agency, I think that's what it is. Is awesome. So that's it. That's it. That's my segment. See you next week. Hopefully in the basement.
That was my dance.
Alright, sit down.
Oops, sorry.
It's okay. Okay.
One of these days we'll clean that
No,
thing.
that actually fucks it up. So we can't do it twice. Because you're an asshole.
Spoon!
Captain Brubaker and Darewade.